Good morning. Well, almost noon. It's 11:42. So, today we're going to get back to some plain old simple basics. I've got 2 pounds of ground pork. It's probably backwards to y'all, but it's 2 pounds of ground pork, 80-20, just like last week. So I had some swelling this past week, quite a bit of swelling in my ankles, and ooh, yuck, that's wet, bloody, or whatever. Some people say it's not really blood, but I don't care. It's red and it's wet, so whatever you want to call it, that's what it is. Anyway, so I had a lot of swelling in my ankles, and I mean, you know, I know the week before I had that, because remember I said I was going to stop using cottage cheese, and I don't know. So this week I'm going to not use cheese at all. So we're going to do just straight pork, ground pork, not sausage, in case, you know. But last week I used pork also. Let me tell you, I pooped every day this week. I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing, but it was kind of different because, you know, before this, man, I pooped like once a week. I'd probably go about every 6-7 days. I know, it's probably not appropriate talk, but since when am I appropriate? Anyway, so I remembered to get my big skillet, and I'm going to work on browning this. And so same for my the thing I always make. Well, last time I did it in a crock pot. I'm going to do a loaf again this week. I seem to like that better. I don't know. I seem to feel more mentally satisfied with when I'm taking bites of something versus just crumbled up ground beef. And again, that's probably just me and my mental, you know, weird OCD. Who knows? Don't know, but don't really care, because so that's what I'm going to do this week. Both of them just dirty up one pot, so it's not like one's any messier than the other. This, I thought this would be really good to be cooking that this with, but it's getting all stuck in the little pieces. So I'll just stick to my plastic thing. So anyway, yeah, so that, and hang on now, let me show you the eggs. These are the eggs that I had frozen a couple weeks ago. Remember, I had put them in little muffin tins. This is, let's see, how many? 6. They're still a little partially frozen. Let me get them right on camera. So they have defrosted in here. I actually had them sitting out on my counter yesterday for a while to kind of let it defrost. So the texture, it's kind of funny. It's thin in some places and thick in others. I mean, it isn't going to matter. Hopefully it'll still cook the same. Oh, there's a yolk. That's a whole, hang on. They kind of gel up almost. So there's a yolk right there. But anyway, so yeah, that's I defrosted 6 sets of 3 because I eat 3 eggs for breakfast in the morning along with this pork that I'm making. And so this container here, I think it holds 3 cups, and that's got what, 18 eggs in it right here. So that's the texture. It kind of reminds me of applesauce texture, but it's not going to taste the same. Anyway, so I'll pour that in after my sausage is done. Watch out, puppy. Okay, so like I said, back to basics. I don't know if it was the Lowry seasoning salt. I've been adding that lately. That's something new that, I don't know, I guess about a month or so I've had it and added it a few times. Whereas before, what I was using was a mixture of Redmond's real salt, Walmart no salt. Then I had some onion powder and garlic powder, and what the heck else was it? Oh, I think that was it, just that. So then, so I think I'm going to try going back to that mixture that I was using before and see if maybe there's just something in that Lowry. Well, I know there's sugar in Lowry seasoning salt, but, you know, it's been trace enough that it has not negatively caused me any cravings or anything like that. So that part has been fine. But anyway, yeah, so I was swelling up, and I had forgotten that from when I was on keto, when you buy cheese that's already shredded, they use something called potato starch, and when that to keep the cheese from sticking together, and so some people have trouble with that. So I'm going to try leaving those two things out. No shredded cheese and no of the Lowry seasoning salt. Instead, it's my own little, I put it in the real salt container, but that's, like I said, it's got my no salt and I think it also has, I had made up some kind of concoction that had, let me see if I can find all. It had some paprika, chili powder, some crushed red pepper. I think that was all that was in it. Well, I made a video of me making that rub once, so I poured that rub into this also. So anyway, so it's a combination, but it's all things that I know what there are, and I didn't put any sugar in it. So I'll put a little on there just to give a little something. But this is what I will use in my loaf. Let me get my cover here. So yeah, so like I said, changing things up, but taking a step back from the additives and extra stuff and seeing if maybe this can make a difference with my retaining fluid. It was bad enough this week that like breathing, it wasn't as bad of an issue this week as it was last week, but it was still an issue. So I still I'm still not gonna I'm gonna go ahead and just straight up avoid dairy this week, and so I'll avoid dairy, and like I said, I'm gonna avoid that Lowry seasoning salt. I'm drinking one of these. These things grow on you. They taste terrible, but if you can swirl out, they don't taste terrible. The carbonation tastes terrible for me, but if you can swirl out some of that carbonation, they really are not bad at all, and they kind of grow on you. Some weird reason they grow on you. So let me see. So let me get you moved, and while this is browning, we'll work on the loaf. I was trying to push play with my glove on. Okay, so I cut the tips off my ground beef here, and as I defrost my meat, it sits in, this is an unused, key word there, unused, I guess I got a cat and thought that I would want a little small litter box and never did use it. But when I pull my meat out of the freezer, I put it in a Ziploc bag, and then I set it inside there to defrost. However, sometimes the Ziploc bag will leak, like this one, and then I just wash it out. Sometimes I wash it in the dishwasher. Sometimes I wash it or I just wash it with soap and water. Okay. But, ew, yuck. That really leaked. Ziploc bags, for some reason, blood sure manages to escape them. Move, Sam. Move. These dogs love meal prep day. So, that was 3 pounds of ground beef. And then going to be 2 pounds of that pork. And I'll slide that back there. And then I'm just going to mix that up. I'm not going to add eggs this time. One, I didn't defrost any extra. Those are just going to be for my breakfast. So I didn't, and like I said, I just really like the texture of biting. I could make burgers, but they just take longer and more work, and this loaf is so, oh, shoot a monkey. I gotta turn on the oven. Well, I got my gloves on. Oh, but I gotta take them, I gotta take one off. Come on, corn flabbit. Hang on, forgot to add the seasoning. Okay, hold on. Oven. Dogs, you are something else. You are all in the way. Hang on, gotta check on the sausage while I'm over here. That's looking, I think that's basically done. Holy smokes. There's a little pink in there. Maybe I'll turn off the burner and then let the sausage kind of sit here and kind of finish cooking through. It does get microwaved from work. So when I'm at work, it gets microwaved, so it's okay for me to, I don't always get it so golden brown, because like I said, I'm going to be microwaving it, so it does get done. Sorry I'm across the room and you guys are just sitting there looking at that thing. Here you go. So I'm over here, I'm just kind of breaking it up because when it sat there, it got the clumps. So anyway, I'm going to let this sit a minute while I season and mix up my ground beef here. And the oven is on 350. So there, that's my ground beef. Do you hear all that clicky, clicky, clicking of the dogs? They are just all in it. Just hoping. They just hope with all hope that something is going to fall. And I'm going to put this lowerys back up in the cabinet so I don't forget. Okay. That's it, puppy dogs. Look. There we go. I had to gate them off. Look at that. He's so sad. I broke his little cotton picking heart. Well, I got news for him. My heart breaks when I have to trip over him, and the last thing I need is to fall and break my neck. So, all right. Now, that is the pork and ground beef and the seasoning mixed together. I have pork rinds, but I'm not going to add any. I just kind of, like I said, just want to use straight up meat and see if that makes this week better. Straight up meat, and like I said, not sausage, because sausage has other things in it. So, and then I'll divide this up into 5 like I usually do. Got my little finger puppets done that I was working on. Got all the whole set done and a little carrying case. Now I'm working on figuring out how to crochet a baby Yoda. I've seen pictures of them on Facebook, and that one lady got in trouble from Disney for selling her pattern. So it will be one of those things of you can't make money off of something when there is a, what do you call that, trademark. So, yeah. Okay. Now that looks good. So I'm gonna put that in the oven. How much this timer? I'm doing laundry. This timer has 35 minutes, so at that point I'll check it out and see where it's at. It usually takes like almost an hour or so. So I'm going to divide this sausage out into my little containers. In a second. Let me move ya so I can get these out. Whoop. Got somebody out there barking at the world. We hear you, Callie. She sees something. I'm rinsing this bucket out. I'll put a little soap and water in there and then scrub it out in a little bit. Just want to get a little soap and water in there first. Alright, now set that there. Sausage, so 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, so I was going to try to do 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright. Scoop it up. There we go. Okay, so the easiest method for doing something like this is using a bigger spoon. So I can say, okay, 1 full scoop, 1 full scoop, 1 full scoop, 1 full scoop, 1 full scoop. Not quite a full scoop. Now just kind of divide all this up. You look like you could lose a little more. Maybe you. And definitely you back there. Okay. Now, in the same skillet, and I'll set the spoon aside because I'll use it for the eggs. Okay, get my thingy back on. Get you folks. So that's the sausage right here in these. And let's get you moved. Oh, we better zoom in on that. Come on, zoom in, buddy. Come on. I say zoom. My fingers are cold. Hang on, I'll pause it and see if that makes a difference. Well, that's as zoom as I can get it. Won't let me zoom anymore, so. Alright. So here goes the eggs. I'm right-handed, so I'm just gonna flop them in there. I can't let you watch it pour out. About 3 more bites worth. Gotta have all that in there. Yeah. Now then, we're gonna see how these turn out. See, still can't zoom. Get in there. Nope. Well, Sorry guys, that's as close as we can get today. Get my fan on. And it's funny because it's more mixed together. My eggs aren't usually like that. There's usually a bunch of white clumps in there. Oh, the egg that was kind of stuck together in a ball just broke apart. Oh, my oven just reached 350. I don't worry about waiting until it reaches 350 for something like my loaf. All right, y'all. I won't make you watch this process because some of this is still like kind of frozenish. So it's probably going to take long, a little while, and you don't need to see this right here. You don't need to watch me do that part. All I'm doing is stirring it. So, yeah, when it's done and it's looking better, I'll show you. I do want to add a little bit of plain salt. I've got some kosher salt right here. I'll use a little bit of this kosher salt. Just to give eggs definitely need some salt to them. You can't just have plain eggs. Ugh. Alright, so there's the eggs. Yeah, so I'll pause you and then I'll show you whenever they get almost done. Looky there, I got it to zoom in. So, the eggs are pretty much done. Show you what they look like here. Just want to get them all mushed up real quick. Oh. So that's the texture. That's the texture. So I don't know. I don't think there's any difference in these. I do see more chunks of yellow. Like the dark yellow. Hang on, let me find a piece. Like, see that piece right there, how it's a little darker? And right here, that's a little darker. There's little pieces of that throughout, which I think it's, pieces that was the yolk. So, obviously it's the yolk. Frozen yolk. Hang on, let's move back over here. Now we gotta zoom back. Oh man. Well, here we go. Oh. I don't know. Alright. Hi, Lou. There's my boys. I took down the gate. They were giving me those pitiful, terribly sad eyes. So, now, again, I'll use that same spoon. And, like I said, just to have a little more control of knowing how much is going in each so they can be pretty even. 2, 3, 4, 5, and so yeah, so this was twofold. So we got to see how it works to freeze the eggs a couple weeks ago, and now we get to see how it works to fry those eggs. So, alrighty. Stick that back there, and let me get 6 I'm reaching in front of y'all. Gotta get 6 of these lids. Let's see how many I got here. One of these I'll eat tomorrow for breakfast. I'm one of those who shops on payday, and we get paid, I think it's Wednesday or Thursday, the 22nd. And I've been, I've gone to Walmart, as well as, and previously I had gone to a local slaughterhouse place, and I didn't know if our slaughterhouse had something like ground pork, and evidently they do. So next week I will have to buy some ground beef. This will be the first time buying ground beef since December because of that cow, that quarter cow that I had bought. So anyway, so I'm going to be getting, let me think if I can remember everything. I'm going to be getting, I think, 8 pounds of ground pork, because they have that. And then I'll get a couple pounds of bacon, and then I think I'm going to do 10 pounds of ribeye and 10 pounds of maybe strip steak or something, and then or sirloin maybe, and then and then a couple pounds of ground beef, because like I said, I have 5 left. So I guess I really just need 1 more. But so I'll have to see if it's 2 weeks between our next pay period or 3, since we're paid twice a month. Sometimes it's a 3-week time period, so I have to food prep an extra time. So anyway, so next week I will update you on how this breakfast and lunch went. You've seen how I put the loaf together in previous videos. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm going to do this week. No cheese, no Lowry seasoning salt, just that stuff that I'd been using before all of it. And I will update you next week and see if we have any swelling this week. So, okay, you're officially in the loop. Have a good week, and bye. I can't just leave y'all hanging like that. Okay, grand finale. So I cut it up into 6 pieces and then divided that up. So here's how it looks. It's really just like a baked hamburger, which I've never done. I don't think I've ever baked hamburgers. I may have, but anyway, so there it is. It's just ground beef and ground pork with the seasonings. Hang on, let's taste it and see what we think. Yeah, it's good stuff. Now, this is the last little bit of juice. So this is how I finish it off. I go splash, 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 splash. They got more splashes at the end. Now that's, the rendered fat. And I don't have any digestive problems with it. So I put it all in there. Oh, hang on, there's a little bit more meat down in there. That's a half a bite, don't you know? When you're a big girl, you don't want to miss a half a bite. So, there you go. That's my 5 lunches. You saw my breakfasts, and there's my 5 lunches. So that's what I'll be eating this week. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what I'll be eating this week for work. I got an extra breakfast for tomorrow, and then I'll make some steaks for, I'll make a steak for lunch tomorrow and supper both. Or if I make 2 steaks, maybe I'll eat both of them at lunch. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I could. There's nothing wrong with it. Have not craved any of that chicken. I had it, I guess, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday I took some of that chicken and egg, and it tastes fine, but man, I sure get hungry right away. So that's the difference. That's why majority of people that eat carnivore don't eat a lot of chicken. They may have some from time to time, but it's, you know, it's just not fulfilling or filling, and you get hungry pretty darn quick. So, all right, there you go. You are in the loop. Now that's my meals. 30 minutes of your time. Good night. I hope it was worth it. Bye.